All right, let's break it down and talk about the latest express entry draw by IRCC, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, where they've invited candidates who were nominated through the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. Yeah, it's pretty big news for anyone looking to immigrate to Canada, so let's dive in and understand the ins and outs of it all. What is express entry, and how does it work? Okay. So Express Entry is Canada's online immigration system for managing applications for permanent residency from skilled workers. It's a system designed to select immigrants based on their skills, work experience, language ability, and other factors that will help them succeed in Canada. It's a pretty straightforward way to handle applications, but the competition is intense, given that Canada's immigration programs are so popular. Now, how does it actually work? Well, applicants create an online profile with all their details like education, work history, language test results like IELTS for English or TEF for French, and more. Based on this information, they're assigned a score under the Comprehensive Ranking System, CRS. So, yeah, CRS is like the game score that decides who gets invited to apply for permanent residence. The IRCC then holds periodic draws where they select the highest scoring candidates to apply for permanent residency. These draws can be specific to certain groups, such as candidates in specific programs like the Federal Skilled Worker Program, Canadian Experience Class, and of course, the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. What's the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP? Right, let's talk about the Provincial Nominee Program, PNP. This is a program that allows individual provinces and territories in Canada to nominate immigrants who have the skills and experience needed in their local job markets. So, if a province is facing a labor shortage in a particular field, they might target specific candidates to apply. The PNP is a pathway to permanent residency, but the key thing here is that you're getting a nomination from a province, not from the federal government directly. Now, if you're nominated by a province through the PNP, it's a big deal. Getting a nomination from a province is a massive boost to your CRS score in Express Entry. In fact, it gives you an automatic 600 extra points. Yeah, that's huge. If you're invited to apply under the Express Entry program and you've got those extra 600 points, you're almost guaranteed to get an invitation to apply IDA for a permanent residency, even if your CRS score isn't the highest in the pool. So, the PNP is definitely one of the most powerful tools in the Express Entry system. Hashtag latest Express Entry draw for PNP candidates. So, in the most recent draw, IRCC invited candidates who had received a provincial nomination. This means that if you've been nominated by a Canadian province or territory, you are likely to get an invitation to apply for permanent residency. Pretty awesome, right? Now, these kinds of draws are crucial because they give people who are nominated by provinces a direct shot at becoming permanent residents of Canada. The thing about the PNP is that, unlike the other express entry programs, it often has more specific requirements. Provinces may be looking for people with certain work experience, qualifications, or even a job offer in that province. Hashtag, how do you get nominated by a province? You might be wondering, okay, that sounds great, but how do I actually get nominated by a province? Well, there are a few pathways. Some provinces use express entry to pick candidates, while others have their own separate streams for people who don't qualify for the Federal Express Entry Program. For instance, Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta frequently run draws through their PNPs, targeting certain skilled workers or people who already have job offers. So, yeah, if you've got a job offer from an employer in one of those provinces, that could really help boost your chances of being nominated. There are also streams designed for entrepreneurs or people with specific skills that match the province's economic needs. If you're in the tech sector, healthcare, or skilled trades, you might find a particular province that's actively seeking your skills. Now, I see. There are some provinces that have an express entry-linked PNP stream. This is where you create an express entry profile, and if the province likes what they see, they'll nominate you. Other provinces may have base PNP streams, which means you don't need to be an express entry to apply, but being part of express entry definitely helps. Hashtag the 600 points advantage. Right. So let's dive deeper into why getting nominated is such a game changer. As I mentioned earlier, when you're nominated by a province, you get an automatic 600 points added to your CRS score. And that can really make a huge difference in the draw process. For example, let's say the cutoff of the latest draw was 470 CRS points, but you were sitting at 380 points. Normally, you wouldn't have a chance of being invited to apply in that draw. But if you get nominated by a province, you're immediately bumped up to 980 points with the 600-point bonus. I mean, at that point, you're almost guaranteed to get an ITA in the next draw, even if the CRS cutoff is above 470 points. This is why the PNP is such a key component of Canada's immigration system. It allows provinces to choose the candidates that are most likely to succeed in their local labor markets, while giving those candidates a massive boost in the federal express entry draw. Hashtag provincial nomination and the job market. It's also important to note that provinces and territories select candidates based on their current and future labor market needs. So, yeah, getting nominated by a province isn't just about having a high CRS score. It's about fitting the needs of that particular province. If a province has a shortage of tech workers, for example, and you've got the right skills and experience, your chances of getting nominated are much higher. A good example is Ontario's tech draw. Ontario is one of the largest and most populous provinces in Canada, and it frequently holds draws for tech workers through its PNP. If you're a skilled tech worker with experience in areas like software engineering, IT management, or data analysis, this could be your ticket to a provincial nomination. Hashtag, why is this important for you? Okay, so if you're aiming for a Canadian permanent residency, this recent draw and the opportunities it presents could be a game changer. The fact that IRCC is inviting PNP candidates means there are more pathways to gaining permanent residency in Canada, especially for those who might not have the highest CRS score but have the right skills for a specific province. The PNP is also a fantastic option if you've been struggling to make the cut in the regular express entry draws. Sometimes, people get stuck in the pool for a long time, hoping for a high enough CRS score to be invited, but with a provincial nomination, your chances improve dramatically. Right. That's why it's so essential to stay informed about the latest draws and updates from both IRCC and the provinces. If a province opens up a new stream or increases their target for nominations, you'll want to be among the first to apply. Also, don't forget that some provinces have different eligibility criteria or extra conditions. So, before you start preparing your application, be sure to check the specific requirements of the province you're interested in. Some provinces might require you to live and work there for a certain period before you can apply for permanent residency, while others may have specific language or education requirements. Wrapping up, right? In conclusion, this latest express entry draw by IRCC inviting PNP candidates is an excellent opportunity for those who have been nominated by a Canadian province. The added 600 CRS points from a provincial nomination make it significantly easier to receive an IEA for permanent residency, even if your CRS score wouldn't have qualified in a regular draw. If you're considering applying for a Canadian permanent residency, looking into the Provincial Nominee Program should definitely be on your radar. It's a great way to increase your chances of success, especially if you have skills or experience that are in demand in specific provinces. Stay updated on the latest draws, keep your profile active, and explore the various streams available through the PNP. With the right strategy, you could be one step closer to becoming a permanent resident of Canada.
Thanks for watching our video. Please hit the button and subscribe the channel.